Hello everyone, the Army of Otters here, and welcome to Unexplored Skyrim. If you're familiar with my Unexplored series on Fallout New Vegas or Fallout 3, you know what this video will be like. The goal of this series is to find locations scattered around Skyrim that players might miss on their initial playthrough, and also just looking at normal places that have hidden secrets or just interesting facts about them. So please sit back, relax, and let's go on an adventure together to see what this absolutely beautiful game has to offer.
We can't afford to keep the place running since these attacks started. Pirates, you see, raiding all along the coast. From Hammerfell to Vardenfell, only the Shatter Shields appear safe.
Haldyn? I've heard of the man, but never guessed he'd join up with some pirates. This could be even more dangerous than I thought. Head to the ships. We'll plan the assault on the way.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, for the first episode of Unexplored Skyrim, I wanted to visit somewhere I was not familiar with. I did a bit of research and tried to find some interesting locations, and I finally decided to explore Japhet's Folly. This is an island that is pretty much inaccessible except during the quest, Rise in the East. Now I have played through Skyrim several times. I've played the game pretty extensively actually, and I'm very familiar with much of the game, but Skyrim is gigantic. So there are many places that I really am unfamiliar with or I just don't remember. However, Japhet's Folly is definitely a place I forgot about. So let's dive into this location. In order to access this location, you need to head to Windhelm. And as you can see from the scenic shot, we are here at the Windhelm Docks. This is just southeast of the main gates to Windhelm. And here we can find the East Empire Company. This is a trading company within Skyrim, and upon entering their building here in Windhelm, you'll notice that it is in a very bad state. And here we have Orthus, and you heard him speaking a little bit in the opening of this video. Basically, pirates are raiding his trade ships, and it's caused a lot of disruptions in his company, obviously. And he also tells us that another company, the Shatter Shields, which is a family-run private trading company here in Windhelm, seems to have been unaffected by the pirate raids, and he finds this very suspicious. So he asks us to go steal the ledger of the Shatter Shields. Upon taking the ledger, which is really easy to get since their office is next door to the East Empire Company, and because that the ledger is not locked inside of anything, it's just on a table, we can take it back to Orthus, who will then tell us that there are payments being made to a group of pirates in Dawnstar. So this is obviously quite suspicious, and from here Orthus will task us with traveling to Dawnstar in order to investigate these pirates. And then in Dawnstar, if we head to the Wind Peak Inn, we can find the group of pirates that Orthus was talking about, and they're being very rude to the bartender or just to the person who runs this inn. And then we can talk to Stig Salt Plank, a very interesting name, no doubt, and he will refuse to give us information about his work or who he works for, or how to join the pirates. So we can either bribe him with 1,000 gold, or we can beat it out of him. So I chose to beat it out of him. I don't want to give 1,000 gold to a no-good pirate. Pretty easy fight, because on my account that I was using for this video, I'm a very high level.
Haldyn will take my hide for this, but Skyrim's been feeling a bit confining lately. We draw counsel at Japhet's Folly. The fools in Windhelm won't go near it, which is fine by us. If you'll pardon me now, my crew needs gathering. Should be in Hammerfell before the other hawkers know who let slip their secret.
And with that, we now know we need to go to Japhet's Folly. However, going to Japhet's Folly is not an easy task. As he said, it's difficult to reach for people in Windhelm, let alone the player character. Upon returning to the East Empire Company, we can find that Orthus is now in a discussion with Adelasia, who will help us attack Japhet's Folly, and she will provide us with transportation in order to get there. It's very important to note that you have one opportunity to visit this location, because upon finishing this quest, you cannot go back. so please be careful when you visit here. Make sure you get all of the loot that you want. And then after talking to this mercenary, we will be transported to Japhet's Folly. Japhet's Folly is a small island in the northeastern part of Skyrim in the middle of the ocean. That is why it is inaccessible and a little bit difficult to find. This quest is easily missed, I think. Adelasia will tell us that we need to kill Haldyn, who is a kind of mage that is leading this group of pirates. He is creating this fog around the island, which makes it difficult to travel to and dangerous for ships. Also, using the clear skies shout will not clear the skies. We have to kill Haldyn. So here you can see the location northeast of Winterhold and the College of Winterhold. Like I said though, you need a boat to get here. Upon arrival, you will have all of these chunks of ice that make it easy for us to travel towards the island. On the island is a small castle, along with several small wooden houses that obviously provide shelter for its inhabitants. Here we can find a conveniently placed sea cave, which will lead us to the base of the castle. Inside of this sea cave, we can find several mud crabs, but, that's a pretty easy enemy to fight off. And obviously, you can complete this quest at any level. However, the quest and enemies will scale depending on the player level. Here we have a chest with random loot. There were some lockpicks and gold and some healing potions inside of it for me, which is pretty good. Then we come to this main room where we can find a blood horker. That's this name of the group of pirates. And this is inside of the castle. There were some potions in here, some mead, and then also a treasure chest, again, with random loot. For me, it just had some gold. After this, we can enter the main chamber section of the castle. We come out on the bottom of one of the towers. This castle has 2 towers. There's nothing really at the entrance besides like some random loot. We had some good old tasty carrots inside of that sack. We then have to make our way up the stairs up to the ground level of the tower, and several pirates will come out and try to kill us. But for us, that's no problem at all. Now, unfortunately, the upper section of this tower is collapsed, so there's nothing that we can really do up there. So then we can go into this next part of the castle, or the fort, whatever you want to call it, and we just have a long hallway, which will take us to the exit, which at this point in time is locked, so we cannot go outside, and then it takes us to the other tower. In this other tower, you have 2 choices of where to go. You can go up to the top floor or down into the basement. You probably want to go down first, because after killing Haldyn and leaving this place, a lot of the loot becomes inaccessible. So definitely make sure to get all of the loot that you want before killing Haldyn. And then we can find some gold coins, and a coin purse, which is not very helpful maybe, but it's better than nothing. In this large room at the bottom, we don't have anything besides some food and also a locked chest that will have random loot inside of it. Then we have an expert locked wooden door, and upon opening the door, we can find Japhet. And he is the reason this place is called Japhet's Folly. And his journal gives us a very interesting look at what was happening at Japhet's Folly and why it might be haunted. And his journal reads, "A smaller band than was expected joined me departing Dawnstar. Apparently the local word is that this island is unfit for any sort of habitation, owing to spirits and ill-favored weather. No matter, more space for the loyal few, though the building of the citadel may prove to be time-consuming. This first winter was difficult, with the abandonment of many men and women to return to their families on the mainland. A culling of the herd. Let us lose the faithless, the weak, and those who lack the fortitude to preserve. The stories of ghosts inhabiting this place are just stories. They frighten away more of those who would weep like children when their shadows flicker in the firelight. Me and my closest remain, ever vigilant. I find little need for additional company. The cold and wind seem to finally have driven off the last of those who would fancy themselves to be my compatriots. I have no need of their adolescence. Let those who look upon Japhet's fortress be afraid, and know the great man who conquered the accursed island." Now, even my more trusted go-betweens have stopped making their regular deliveries of food and supplies to the fortress. I must become self-sufficient and farm the land, as my father did. The rocks are unyielding, and my grain grows short, but I will not abandon my greatest creation. I will weather the storm and fend off the ghost and bite into the wind, such that all might sing songs of my great settlement. I'm starting to think the stories of the ghosts may have a kernel of truth to them, or else it's simply the hunger talking. The ghosts are speaking to me now. The more of this ice moss that I eat, the more clearly I can hear them. They are telling me it was a mistake to come here, as if I didn't already know that. Oh gods, help me. And with that, we can learn a lot about this fortress and this settlement and the man who established it. A man who was obviously not very smart and who seems to have gone crazy towards the end of his life. Behind Japhet, we can find a master-locked chest, which has a flawed Varla stone in it, gold, and other random loot. So a pretty good find. Now, Japhet is a very interesting story. Now, there's no evidence that there are any ghosts on the island. Perhaps it really is haunted and Haldyn was able to scare away the ghost, or perhaps he was just going crazy from hunger and eating the ice moss. Either way, we have a more important task to focus on. We have to kill Haldyn, who sits at the top of this tower. And here we can see Haldyn now, who is a mage, obviously, as he's producing this fog and storm that surrounds Japhet's Folly. And we can then kill him pretty easily. And after this, we want to take his key, and you could also take his armor if you wanted it. Now, up here on the top, there isn't a whole lot of loot. There were some silver ingots, which you might want for smithing or something. Also some soul gems, as is pretty common loot in Skyrim, along with a potion of healing. There's also a chest which had some gold, some arrows, and some madness ore. So not terrible finds, but nothing spectacular either. Upon exiting this fortress, we will be shown a pretty amazing scene as the mercenaries from the East Empire Company have began their attack on the island. As we open the door, we can see some pirates getting blown to smithereens, and there will be a lot of explosions as you make your way down. Now, while you're here, don't try to fast travel or try to leave or anything, as it can severely glitch the game. I've heard of actually game-breaking glitches at this location, so just go about your way, kill the pirates, and just, enjoy the awesome scene. Now, you can explore around the island and stuff, that's okay, just don't try to get too cute with anything. And as we make our way down, we'll see another pirate get blown to smithereens, and then we'll kill off the stragglers. This last pirate's death was pretty humorous, as I fusrodad him into the frozen ocean. Bye-bye. But after killing all of the pirates, we can head over to Adelasia, and she can take us back to Windhelm. However, I wasn't quite ready to go back yet, because I just wanted to check out the island and see if I could find anything cool, or just some kind of hidden areas. Here on Unexplored, I like to do some extra exploration, try to find places that players typically wouldn't look at or typically care about, and just kind of look at like some cool liminal spaces, or just spaces that the developers built for whatever reason. I just think it adds a lot of character to the game, and it just feels really cool to be in these kind of places. So over here we have a boat that is kind of sinking, obviously damaged in the battle. However, there's nothing really on the boat. And then making my way up towards the fortress, we will find a chest that had a diamond in it, so a really good find, and some other random loot in these destroyed houses. At the top, I wanted to see if you could get on top of the fortress through kind of just jumping around, and I found out, yes, you can indeed get on top of the fortress. You just kind of have to jump on top of the doorway here, and this will put you on the ledge, and eventually you can kind of just force your way up by walking. And then we are at the top of the fortress, but there's really nothing to do up here, there's really no point. Besides, I thought it looked cool, and you get some cool views of the surrounding area. After Haldyn is dead, also, you'll notice that the weather here has improved significantly. And with that, I concluded my time at Japhet's Folly and decided to return to Windhelm. After we return to Windhelm, we can go talk to Orthus, who has a reward for us, and his reward is based on the level of the player character. So lower levels will receive less gold, while higher levels will receive more gold. I'm a level 82, and I received 1,500 gold. So, not bad, but had I given the bribe to that pirate, I would be actually quite sad, because then I only made 500 gold. And there you have it, Japhet's Folly. This is a really cool location that I really did not know ever existed until recently. Skyrim is an absolutely huge game, and I'm really looking forward to this series because I do like playing Skyrim a lot, and I look forward to finding places I've never been before. Now, for this series, I plan to do two things. One, I'm going to use my old account, like I did in this video, in order to reach more higher level places, but also I plan to restart my playthrough of Skyrim, or create a second playthrough, in order to experience other locations on Unexplored Skyrim for, like, the first time, or show what a first-time experience is like. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Unexplored Skyrim. If you have any recommendations for a future video in Skyrim, please post them in the comments section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are so freaking awesome. And, as always, until next time.